Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio. AM 1240, 92.7 FM, and 95.3 HD4. News, talk, sports. Nooga Radio.
You can't deny that we're seeing a acceleration in time space. And you can't deny that the forces of corruption are being revealed, and even being revealed by themselves. And we see earth changes increasing as well. They've even tried to blame the Pacific Rim being the most active in its recorded history, which is only about 100 years, where it's been scientifically recorded. But it is the most active. They're trying to blame that on global warming. They're trying to blame that on you, on your personal geoengineering. But they're saying that government geoengineering, which they admit is going on in their own white papers, doesn't exist. And you're a kook if you say it does exist. So you are geoengineering, and you're the cause of all the problems, but not all the big shadowy Department of Energy programs. Who's the big conspiracy theorist now? And then they put out a new movie, Geostorm, about geoengineering, rolling out all the technologies to everybody, the electromagnetic antennas,
in-depth traffic, news, and
space-based
information.
system.
Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Broadcasting live to over 1 million souls in Chattanooga, the Tennessee Valley, and beyond on frequency modulation 92.7. Sean Hannity, 25,000 watts on digital FM 95.3 HD4. CBS Radio News, pulsing the earth with amplitude modulation on 1240. NASCAR, Bloomberg Markets, David Tulis, streaming strong at NoogaRadio.com. Live on YouTube and Facebook. Nooga Radio. News Talk 92.7. Chattanooga Radio.
Well, you're listening to Two Millennials Talk, even though it sounds like Clutch with Keon Rose. I promise I haven't picked up a third hour.
Heaven forbid.
Right? So it'd be more of me just bloviating on sports and racism, which I love. I'm not sure everybody else loves it, but I that's fun.
I just think sports are racist.
Maybe. I mean, sometimes like I look at the NFL and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm convinced that all sports are just racist entirely.
I mean, look at water polo.
Yeah, you don't see any black people playing water polo. What's up with that?
You don't mostly you don't see much of anybody but white people playing water polo.
What's up with what's up with the lack of people of color polo?
Exactly.
That's the problem here.
We should investigate
America.
That.
Wasting our time on all this Russia crap. We should be looking at the water polo.
White privilege is being able to play water polo.
Not just sinking to the bottom like a rock.
Oh man, like I do, like I go to the pool and I'm standard doggy paddle. Like I really can't swim very well.
Yeah.
I swim enough to not die if I had to survive for like 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes to come get me if I'm drowning. Because if you don't come in 10 minutes, I'm done.
Jeez, man.
I'm tapping out. Like I'm a horrible swimmer. Like I just haven't really done it in my life.
I'm only a bad swimmer because I don't like doing it. But like if you threw me in a pool and you're like staying there for 30 minutes, I'd be like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit, but
I wouldn't die or anything.
I go to the pool and I stand. I find the place where I can stand.
You stand on tiptoes and you're just like that.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's like I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm not like up to my knees.
Yeah.
And I just stand there and I enjoy it, like just being in water. That's pretty much it.
That's just shameful. I think everyone should know how to swim. I always joke about not being able to swim. My excuse is always, I was homeschooled. I can't swim because I was. And I couldn't for a while, but now I can, so it's all good.
We talk about all the traumatic stuff that my dad did to me as a kid.
Oh, this one's good. Yeah,
Make me a tough guy. But like, I can't imagine, because like his dad was like 10 times worse than him. And so like how my dad learned how to swim was literally his dad just threw him in a river when he was a kid. And it was like, well, if you don't make it, I guess you're dead. That's pretty much it. Like, that's Guyana for you. That's
jeez.
How do people learn how to swim in Guyana, down in South America? They just throw your kids in a river.
What's the worst that could happen, really?
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't survive, it's kind of kid's fault
Like,
anyway.
yeah, did I really want a kid who couldn't swim? I don't know.
It's like South American version of like Spartan culture. Where there's like, you're 12, son. Time to go fight some wolves.
There is a certain level of that going on. And I don't even think by like design. It's just, this is just the way things are.
It's not even natural selection. It's completely unnatural. Who throws their kid in the river?
It's pretty much the opposite of all of your biological tendencies to protect your children.
That's like balance a checkbook, son. You're 5 months old.
Yeah, go for it.
If you can't do it, I'm afraid you go in the river. It's just ridiculous.
I'm gonna just hand a 5-month-old like his inheritance and just go, you figure it out.
Now, what tax do we pay on this? Figure out the inheritance tax and you can have it.
No, you don't get to file for bankruptcy.
No chapter 12 for you, my son. Or chapter 9, whatever they do to avoid paying off everything.
Might be chapter 11. I think.
Is that chapter 11?
I think so.
I haven't been bankrupt enough to know.
That's true.
I've only done it a few times.
I'm not going to lie. All of these things I've learned from TV.
Oh, well. I've learned them the unfortunate way. But anyway, so I had to drive up here. This is kind of a fun little anecdote. I drove up here in a hurry because we had an explosion and a chemical leak and all that crap at Walker Chemical just a few minutes ago or a few hours ago. So I had to drive up here to cut a new newscast. Say that 10 times fast. A new newscast. And because of the hurricane down in Florida, there's like 800,000 people trying to drive up here in really fancy cars for some reason, because I guess only rich people live in Florida.
Well, definitely in Miami.
Especially in Miami. Yeah, that's where the South Florida is where it's hitting. But so I found out, rediscovered anyway, that Floridians cannot drive to save their lives. I don't know why, but Floridians just cannot drive. I got cut off by two people with Florida plates. 2 people. I'm like, seriously, man? And this, it's one of those guys who like waits till the last minute to merge into traffic. Like they're on the off ramp and they wait 3 hours to finally freaking merge in. You just want to stab these people.
And now they're here. Now they're here with the rest of us.
I know. I need to
I'm literally praying for your homes to be fine, so that when this is all done, you can go back,
go home again,
like leave.
I've had to revise my Okies Go Home sign to add Floridians.
Floridians go home.
Floridians not welcome here.
Oh, yeah, that's true though. I went to Orlando a couple weeks ago
really?
For a family vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we were down there, and it's awful. It's like except I guess because you're the only person following any perceptible driving rules, like how you've always been taught.
Yeah,
you're the crazy person. Like you're not cutting people off, so you're insane.
Yeah, you can't just cut people off. We have a phone call. Unfortunately, you want to hit that?
There we go.
Bonjour.
You're really not going to go there with Florida drivers, are you?
Well, they're not as bad as Tennessee drivers, but they're pretty dang bad.
Okay, as long as you admit that.
As a non-Tennessean, I will say that. Yeah, no, Tennessee drivers are much worse.
Tennessee and Georgia that have 2 driver's licenses. We're okay. We're on the same page.
Yeah, totally.
You want to know how to find chaos in Tennessee?
Well, listen. Here's the problem.
No.
I noticed in Tennessee and Georgia, there's a problem with making a decision.
Yes.
If the light is green and it's about to turn red and you're making a left turn, move into the center of the highway so you can make that turn.
Yeah, duh.
And listen, stop piling up on the right-hand lane when there's 2 places to turn, two lanes to turn. I've driven all over the country, and I'm telling you, I don't know what kind of test they give in Tennessee or Georgia for licenses, but I can tell you this: they should stop Walmart from issuing them.
Thank you, caller. Yeah, I would completely agree with that. Whatever aptitude test they're giving these people, and I think man, I got my driver's license in kind of a wonky way because homeschooling, but I thought, man, maybe I'm not adequate to drive on the roads, and I realized all these morons have licenses. I can drive.
Here's the thing, and I think you'll find this to be true wherever you are in the country. Nobody can drive all over America. The issue is not a matter of whether or not people can drive, because nobody can.
Yeah.
It's why nobody can drive. And the answer is different in every single state. I will say, as a person, I got my license in Texas.
I'm sorry.
People in Texas can't drive, but it's willful ignorance. Like, people in Texas just don't want to follow the rules. They know what they are. They have no problems making decisions. They just don't care about you. And it's some guy, some 22-year-old bro in his lifted truck that's just, he only cares about him, not you, just him. And then I spent some time driving in Los Angeles, and it's just selfishness. It's just pure selfishness. How can I further myself? And I really don't care about the other people on the road.
Yeah.
It's not insanity. If you drive for yourself in LA, you will be fine because everyone's driving for themselves.
I had to go in the Lincoln Tunnel one time in New York and trying to merge. Have you been?
I have been. Fortunately, I have not been driving.
I was the one driving this time.
Oh man,
making our shift back to here, actually, from Canada. Oh man, it was one of the worst driving experiences of my life because New Yorkers don't take crap from nobody. New Yorkers, I'm convinced, are actually very good drivers. It's just that they have some kind of telekinesis, or what's the other thing? Not telekinesis, but telepathy. They have some kind of telepathy where they can all communicate with each other.
It's like
somehow.
A hive mind.
Yeah, it's like the Borg. You know, they just all somehow move magically, and I'm like, how am I getting in here?
And then you're the foreigner that's in their space.
Yeah, I'm the guy with Hamilton County, Georgia, or Tennessee plates trying to merge in here, and I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I just don't know what to do.
And they're honking, and they're mean. Like, on top of the fact that you're not connected to their hive mind, they're also mean, and they get mad at you for not magically knowing all the stuff that they magically know.
I think I broke the world record for having witnessed the most amount of middle fingers in the least amount of time just driving in New York.
That sounds about correct.
It was horrible.
Just not friendly people at all.
You know, there's a conspiracy about how like New York City doesn't exist. Like, have you ever actually been to New York City? It doesn't actually exist. You know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm sad that it does. I wish
sad to report. It's here.
I wish that conspiracy theory was true. I wish that it did not, but unfortunately, we're stuck with it. So, and now we got all these Florida drivers coming up here, not knowing how we work. You know, like trying to get Florida and Tennessee minds to meld. You know, you need like Martin Luther King. You need all the mediators in the planet. You need to have Nelson Mandela come over to try to mediate the differences between these two drivers.
Just Gandhi to give us some guidance on how to do this. Because like I got used to Chattanooga after being here forever.
Yeah.
Then I crossed the dam to Hickson, and it's like a different mindset again. Like you have to learn again how to drive in this state.
No, you have to unlearn how to drive.
Right. It's nonsensical.
Right.
Absolutely nonsensical.
It's like people like you go to the store and there's those dudes who just like walk the worst way possible. It's like that, but every driver is that guy. You know what I mean? Like you go to Walmart and there's the guy who's just trundling along, just sort of going like one step every 30 seconds.
And he's leaning over his shopping cart and shuffling in his slippers.
Yeah, and he's like obese and there's odd fluids dripping from him and you're just like, oh, come on, dude. And
like how are you managing to take up the whole aisle at once? That's what I want to know. Because I'd like to go to the left of you or to the right of you, and you're at that perfect spot in the middle where it's inconvenient for everyone.
And I'm just too polite to be like, you know, move, excuse me, and I'm like get around him. I'm too polite, so I have to stand there and walk really slowly and look like pretend that I'm not actually trying to get ahead of him when he turns around.
Right.
You know, you have to like sort of look at your shoes and like, shoes are inside.
Not passing you.
I think I do want those Post-it notes actually.
Just try and like pass through like the women's clothing section to get ahead of him.
Greeting cards.
Yeah. It's just so silly.
I do need some button cell batteries, I guess.
The drivers, man. I can't.
I'm so awkward that one time I actually put something in my basket that I did not want just to make it look like that I was, you know, there on purpose.
Well, here's the thing though. Like if there were like Pokemon evolutions, you would evolve into Larry David. So like for me, that's not even remotely alarming to hear that you did that.
My sister will do this thing where she plays the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme on her phone whenever something happens. And it's always perfect because like she'll play it like just loud enough that we can hear it. And I'll be looking around, I'm just like, my life.
Right. Bum 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 bum. Yeah.
So do you have anything on your agenda, Keon, for today?
Oh man. For me, I'm a little overwhelmed because it's just like we've been off for so long.
Yeah.
That I actually do not know where to start.
Okay, here's some common ground.
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I haven't been watching Game of Thrones.
Never mind. There's no common ground.
There's no common ground there.
There's a lot that could be said, but unfortunately,
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've just gotten really good, by the way, at hiding from spoilers. I haven't.
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything that happened.
Have you been on like any message boards or anything? How do you not know?
Well, I have been on message boards, but I think like I know which ones to avoid.
Oh yeah.
Anything involving TV, I obviously like. I can't go there.
I'm reading TV message boards like all day now because the Game of Thrones stuff is just so funny. The discussions are just amazing. Mostly because this most recent season has been both the best and the worst at the same time.
Which we all figured, right? Like once they stopped following the books because there were no more books for them to follow.
Yeah.
Like there was going to be a certain level of freedom that they had, but then that freedom was going to come with like, what do we actually do with these people?
Yeah, I mean the hype for season 7 has not just been high; it's been like on LSD and DMT at the same time.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's like the hype is incredible, but the payoff is also very good. It's just like done in ways I'm like, oh, that's how you're doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not what I wanted, but all right.
Interesting.
Hey, why not?
Now, I've been catching up on TV that I admit. Like I watched season 3 of Fargo finally.
Oh, I kind of gave up on season 3 of Fargo. I watched like 3 episodes and I was like, okay, I'm not really digging it right now.
It like you get halfway through it and it gets super interesting for whatever reason. But
okay.
Yeah, it is slow at first.
It is, yeah.
But it does get really interesting like about halfway through.
Okay.
So yeah, I was catching up on that and I missed all the Game of Thrones. I'm somehow the only person to avoid it, and it's weird because like I'm on Twitter, and like I guess I only just follow sports people. Like I have avoided this entirely. I haven't gotten off of Twitter.
That's ridiculous. Like all the leaks that came out and everything, and you somehow not seen any of them.
Correct.
Maybe you just didn't know that they were leaks. You thought it was just a regular Game of Thrones posting.
Right, probably, and I just avoided it like I always do.
Wow, jeez. I mean, I'm impressed, but I'm also kind of disappointed.
Yeah. And that's what it is. I'm a master spoiler dodger, though someone's going to probably, like, in the YouTube comments of I think just, like, leave something that ruins my life.
Yeah,
but
Arya dies horribly.
Oh, good.
Actually, I wouldn't be too upset if that.
Oh, no.
Arya's dead. Okay. Well, worse things could happen.
Well, I'm Team Stark. I aligned myself with them in season 1 incorrectly.
I was Team Stannis, and then freaking Stannis.
Stannis went out and Stannis himself. Like, I don't even know how
Stannis had to go out and get himself killed, and now I'm just like, man. I was 100% Team Stannis because I liked him. I didn't care about his claim. I mean, everyone's claim is stupid anyway. I liked Stannis. If he were if he ran for office, I would have elected him. But you know what? He just had to go and be Stannis.
The problem with Stannis, or I would say the problem and the good thing about Stannis, is Stannis is the guy that will do the absolutely horrible thing that like you hate him for forever, but was kind of necessary to do.
Yeah, like
so
burning,
just like
burning his daughter alive was definitely necessary to the continuation of the plot.
Yeah, that's so hard to defend that it's like, but at the same time,
you imagine being like the equivalent of Stannis is like Sean Spicer trying to explain that one. Well, what King Stannis actually meant was a sacrifice has to be made, and Stannis is just so good of a leader that sacrifice was his own daughter. Next question, please.
Right. Stannis was prepared to give up everything, and when he meant everything, he meant his only child.
Potentially also his wife, although we've not come to that yet, and I'd like no speculation on that. We'll answer no further questions about Stannis and his burning of other individuals.
Next question.
All the camera shutters. Will I be next?
Possibly.
That could be. Any one of us could be next.
If his daughter could go, you never know who's next. Where does he be her? It could be anybody.
Where does Stannis draw the line that's only known to him and his closest advisors? Oh, geez. You know, I would love to live in that world where it's like modern, you know, and like the whole Game of Thrones thing is like a modern, like political drama.
Like, well, is this show that already does that? I guess not. Like, there isn't really one that's. You could argue like House of Cards, but House of Cards is not, oddly enough, over the top enough. I think
it's not as crazy. I don't think House of Cards is even as crazy as real life is, honestly.
That someone said that, by the way, that there was a politician that was just like, it's not crazy enough.
Yeah, it's way worse actually in real life.
And I think that's the thing with like the whole Trump presidency that we're seeing is like when you have someone who is used to that level of damage control, like how many stories don't end up leaking outside the White House? Yeah. But partially because Trump likes people to be adversarial with each other, and partially because he hasn't filled all the like previous Obama spots, so those people are just like leaking like faucets. Yeah. Like you just have this situation where like all the horrible stuff that happens in a White House, we learn every single day, just all of it.
I was just reading the other day about these guys who work, I think, in Homeland Security, and like they were hired by like Bush, and they still haven't been fired or replaced or anything. They're just like, hey man, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? So that, you know, leaked documents and stuff. But it's just funny, like there could be people who were hired under like Reagan, you know, who are still sitting there like, in some dusty closet office. Who's the president now?
It's like an Office Space where like they actually fired Milton forever ago, but they never
actually told him.
Right. It was because of a clerical error, so they just didn't realize that they had fired him.
Yeah.
It's just people working in the White House that have just forever ago, like, really? You were here during Reagan? Like, you really need to not be working here anymore.
I was here during Truman.
Oh, well.
I pushed the button to drop the nukes on Hiroshima. You can't fire me.
Like, are you waiting to push another button?
No one pushes buttons like me.
Okay. I'm just saying, it's been a few decades between.
What if like someone opens a closet and there's just like Richard Nixon there hanging out? And it's like, what the heck? Richard Nixon's just standing in like a closet with
just
like
having tea.
He's standing there with like a bottle of Jim Beam. He's like, get out of my closet.
Which that's the way you have to do it because he had the jowls.
Yeah, I can't do it properly. I have to shake my head around a lot. I'm not. My headphones will fly off my head if I do a proper Richard Nixon.
Which, by the way, like whenever I see Richard Nixon done in movies, that's my two favorite things: is how they do the nose and how they do the jowls.
Yeah, they got like the special effects nose.
Yeah,
the motion tracking dots,
which in Watchmen was super over the top.
Yes, it was. Like well, it was meant to be, but yeah,
like his nose was just like his nose stole the scene, just flat out.
Who's the guy who does all the motion capture? He did it for like Planet of the Apes, and he was Gollum. And
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
He should play Richard Nixon in the next Nixon movie. Because with Trump in office now, they're inevitably going to make a movie about Nixon.
About Nixon.
They, like, you know, make the sideline comparison. Like, oh, by the way, you know, Trump is just like Nixon, except not at all.
Right.
Sort of push that into the mental ethos of America. You know,
try and get it out there, even though it's not a comparison that works at all. I can't even think of. You can't compare Trump to anybody.
No,
you can say that as a good thing or a bad thing, but there's nobody you could compare that guy to.
No, except for you're absolutely except for Trump. You know, Trump is just he is who he is.
Right. Which, in fairness, that's what he was elected for, was to be a disruptor of things. So
that's who we voted for. You know, I mean,
when he got elected, I mean, I don't know how else anyone thought this was going to play out. I did imagine it was going to play out like slightly less crazy.
Yeah.
But
slightly less crazy?
Slightly less crazy. But like it has somehow exceeded my expectations. But you know.
Yeah, also, I will say I think Trump is doing exactly what I thought Trump would do. What I did not expect is the opposition to be as, you know, opposing as it is. Like I thought it'd just be the regular, you know, Bush era Democrats saying he's dumb or something. It's gone like way beyond that.
No, there's a level of vitriol there that and I expected probably more of it than you did, but
yeah, maybe being in the camp that you're in, but yeah.
But it's still pretty crazy, the levels that we've reached. It's insane.
Such is life.
So we'll get into that a little bit, I think.
Sure, why not?
All right. Two Millennials Talk next.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news now.
An explosion of fire and a chemical leak at Walker Chemical leads to the evacuation of Walker Valley High and a complete shutdown of I-75. That route now back open. Walker Chemical releasing a statement saying that there was a mechanical failure which led to the release of a hydrogen chemical wafting into the air. Steam was seen floating above the air in the area. One initial report said that there was an injury at Walker Chemical, but the company's statement that came out later stated that there were no injuries and all employees have been accounted for. The shelter-in-place call has been lifted, and in Bradley County, life goes on. An Ottawa High School student, as yet unnamed because he's a juvenile, was crumpled by a hit-and-run driver who was quickly apprehended after the crash occurred. That young man airlifted via life force to the hospital. His injuries unknown. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7, now.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Broadcasting live to over 1 million souls in Chattanooga, the Tennessee Valley, and beyond on frequency modulation 92.7. Sean Hannity. 25,000 watts on digital FM 95.3 HD4. CBS Radio News. Pulsing the earth with amplitude modulation on 1240. NASCAR. Bloomberg Markets. David Tulis. Streaming strong at Noogaradio.com. Live on YouTube and Facebook. Nooga Radio. News Talk 92.7. Chattanooga Radio.
Don't punish your gun by leaving it in a corner. Shoot it, sell it, or just toss it. Okay. Don't toss it. Make money with it. Shooter Supply and Indoor Range, the hottest gun shop in town, finds buyers for your extra firearms. Put cash in your pocket today. Are ARs cluttering your closet? Rugers rusting in your rec room? Shooters Supply and Indoor Range in Hickson will take your firearm and put it on consignment. To you, that means no money out of your pocket with a small fee when the gun sells. Larry at Shooters has got an online store. He's licensed to ship anywhere. It's as if Shooter Supply were giving your billfold cover fire. Get the biggest number of bucks from the smallest Derringer to the longest Barrett. Maximum price, shortest time. What a great deal. Shooters-range.com. Shooters-range.com. That's shooters-range.com. Check with Larry.
When my brother and I opened our first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300-plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and one topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
Hi, this is Eric Pelton. Taxes, accounting, business advice. I've got a neat brochure, 12 ways to improve your business profits. Come on by for a free consultation, and we'll give you a copy. E.J. Pelton Company, 332-3339.
I have the best steak selection in town. Name of the business is Don's Meat Shop, and I'm Donnie Raines. Just ask for Donnie. I make over 20 different types of sausages. Most of them are great for grilling. We have the best selection, best quality. We have the hard-to-find items. Don's Meat Shop.
In this moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with whom? Another state? Another country? Get a local independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Let Goss Insurance in Chattanooga help you today. GossInsurance.wordpress.com. Goss, representing Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. GossInsurance.wordpress.com. Goss, representing Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. 875-2500, 875-2500. GossInsurance.wordpress.com. Goss, representing Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. 875-2500. Let Goss Insurance in Chattanooga help you today. GossInsurance.wordpress.com.
Hi, I'm David Crockett, and I'm here with David Tulis, and we're having a little discussion over who's the number one Nooga centrist. If you want to keep up with free market ideas, then read Nooganomics.com. David Tulis, the blogger with the biggest pen.
Hi, this is Chrissy. And this is Summer of Summer Cares. There are too many homeless veterans in Chattanooga. Please help us in our Shoebox for Veterans campaign. You can fill a shoebox with hand warmers, hand sanitizers, hand wipes, cough drops, razors, shaving cream, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, deodorant, snacks, socks, gloves, and even a small blanket.
And make sure you drop your shoeboxes or your shoebox items off at Nooga Radio Studio on Hickson Pike across from Bojangles below Goss Insurance or Alpine Crest Elementary School.
Please join us at the Community Kitchen in Chattanooga on November 10th from 11 to 12:30 and help us distribute these care packages to the homeless veterans of Chattanooga. No veteran should ever go homeless.
Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7's Fast Forecast now. 75 degrees for our evening. Thunderstorms expected to continue overnight and into tomorrow morning. 75 the high tomorrow and 52 the low. Partly cloudy for our morning and then clearing up by our afternoon. Thursday all the way through Saturday. Highs start to climb from the 70s up into the 80s, with 80 degrees for our high on Saturday and 56 for the low. Nice and clear. That's your fast forecast now.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree. Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM, and 95.3 HD4. News, talk, sports. Nooga Radio.
This is Two Millennials Talk. I'm fighting the urge not to say.
I can see you contemplating it.
Like trying not to say Clutch with Keon Rose, because it's not that.
It's not.
It's Two Millennials Talk here on Nooga Radio and NoogaRadio.com, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. We're having a hurricane party.
A hurricane party because we can.
Yeah, what we're doing actually was celebrating all the Florida drivers and welcoming them up here.
Yeah, if you're listening from Florida, we welcome you, but please learn to drive.
If you could, though. Actually, I do kind of have some idea as to why it is that Floridians can't drive, which is their lights work differently than ours.
Lights?
Yeah, like their traffic lights.
Oh, do they?
Just a little bit, and I wonder if that's just regional. But for instance, their yellow lights don't last as long.
Oh, okay.
So I was driving down there, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm about to run every red light here because I think the light's yellow.
Yeah.
And I could make it, and it would be yellow in Chattanooga.
Right.
It was in Orlando.
Yeah, here the yellows last about as long as the greens do, it seems like.
Yeah. Like, if you see a yellow light and you're yards away, you could probably still make it if you push it.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Yeah, not the case in Orlando. And also, like, somehow turning right, they have, like, 3 right turn lanes at every intersection. It's just, yeah, I can understand why you would drive very differently.
Yeah, geez. It's like, I mean, at least the hurricane's not in like the UK and you have a bunch of people driving on the wrong side of the road.
Right.
You know, like it could be worse.
It could be much, much, much worse.
Although I don't know why they would seek refuge here.
Right. They just like, oh yeah, we're trying to run from this hurricane. Let's go across the ocean.
Yeah, listen, buddy. You know what happened the last time a bunch of British people came to America?
They stayed.
They burned down the White House and then they totally terrorized New Orleans, but we fought them back.
Correct. So there's that.
Yeah.
So
we have that going for us.
What we're saying is Brits stay away.
Brits go. Now I need to revise my sign again. Okies go home. Floridians go home. Brits go home. Just everyone who's not from
adding people to the list.
Everyone who's not from the greater Tennessee Valley area, go home.
I think that about covers it.
Yeah, that should cover it. If you've not lived here for at least like 4 or 5 years, just go home already.
Leave. Get out.
We don't need you.
Not at all.
I'm micro-nationalistic that way. I'm sick of all these people. Sick of all these foreigners.
A micro-nationalist?
Yeah, that's what I am. You know, I'm sick of all like people from Alabama coming. Hey man, what are you talking about? Get back to Alabama. This is Tennessee, man.
Take your tide and your War Eagle and get out of here.
Take your tide and roll back to Alabama. So sick of you people. It's like the elevator in The Shining when the blood comes out.
Right.
It's ridiculous. The flood waters of Alabamians. Ugh. Awful. It's pretty sick. I ordered a package on Amazon, by the way, and it was guaranteed. And I need it tomorrow is the thing. Like this is a particular package that I want tomorrow because it plugs into the car and everything, and it's like really cool. It's this FM transmitter thing. You plug into the car, and it plays music into your antenna. And I don't like need it tomorrow or anything like that. I just wanted to have it today because I knew I was going to drive back here to do the show. And I thought, oh, it'd be cool to listen to music on the way here and then on the way home when I leave tomorrow morning. And no, it was guaranteed to arrive by 8 p.m. And I was like, well, I'll probably get here like when the mail runs. The average time is usually like 1. No. Okay. So I'm thinking like, well, I have to be here by 8. It's already 6:30 and there's no package. What's going on? So now I have to open up a claim with Amazon and complain that my package has not arrived on time. Yeah, very annoying. I've never had to do that before. This is the first time Amazon has failed me. And
oh no,
Jeff Bezos, I'm coming for you, buddy.
There it is.
I'm coming for you. You better watch yourself. Hope you're not sleeping tonight, Jeff Bezos.
Baldy Bezos.
I could kick his butt. Jeff Bezos, come on down here. My package coming late.
Fight me now.
Fight me right now. I bet you can't even. I could probably outrun him too. But you can't even. You can't even throw a punch, Mr. Jeff Bezos. You see a picture of him, by the way? He's jacked.
Is he?
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't look like your average tech executive. Like Mark Zuckerberg. I could kick Mark Zuckerberg's butt. Like I could throw him down the curb.
If you tripped and fell into Mark Zuckerberg, you'd break him in half,
shatter in a million pieces.
Right.
All his data falls out of his pockets.
Right.
My personal. Hey, that's my driver's license.
Ah, my pelvis.
I look at I steal his wallet, and like every driver's license in existence is in his wallet. That guy was buying beer when he was 15. You just know it. But anyway, I could kick I could kick Steve Jobs' butt easy. That guy, I bury him. I put him in the ground. That's Steve Jobs.
Would you put him 6 feet under? What'd you say?
Absolutely. I kick him so hard. That guy wouldn't stand a chance. Who are some other tech executives? I can't even think of any. Michael Dell. I could kick Michael Dell's butt. I can't think of any other tech exec. Oh, Bill Gates. I'd knock his chair over. Bill Gates.
That Bill Gates. I actually thought of Bill Gates. I just didn't want to say Bill Gates because I like Bill Gates.
I do kind of like Bill Gates. I could kick Bill Gates' butt, though. He could take his charity and shove it. I could beat him up. I'm not afraid of Bill Gates. That's a sentence no one's ever had to say. I'm not afraid of Bill Gates.
Who's the CEO of Google?
It's not Satya Nadella. He's the new CEO over at Microsoft. President. He replaced Steve Ballmer. I could kick Steve Ballmer's butt. Him and his sports team. Steve Ballmer.
Well, that's the thing. Steve Ballmer would get the Clippers to fight you.
I could fight them. Be no problem. I could fight the Clippers. No issue.
Though what would be the mistake is if he would get the Clippers to play you and 4 friends in a game of basketball. They might actually lose.
Yeah, I might actually lose in that case. But if it was just a straight up fight between me.
I'm not so sure.
And
Blake Griffin would be immediately injured because that's just been his injury history lately.
You know what I would do is I would duck under his legs and jump. He'd be down. It'd be simple. I fight dirty. He'd be gone.
I don't know if that would work on Blake Griffin, but DeAndre Jordan's like 7'2" or whatever. Yeah. That would actually work.
I kick his butt. I challenge anybody. I'll take him out. Ridiculous. Any challenger. I'm looking at you, Floyd Mayweather. You come on down, I'll take you out.
And the thing with Mayweather too is like Mayweather is the one guy, despite the fact that he's in a combat sport, doesn't look terrifying in any way.
No, he looks like a regular guy.
Like just normal, like ripped, but like not huge.
Yeah, I mean he looks like a guy who goes to the gym, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's like 5'7", 5'6". He's not tall.
I'm taller than Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like he just doesn't look menacing at all, which for a boxer is alarming. And the reason why he's gotten away with being this bad guy villain and the role that he plays is that he's richer than you.
Right.
Not that he's scarier than you. Like Tyson was terrifying.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mike Tyson, like he looks like the guy who would bite your ear off. He's just scary looking.
And it's crazy because there's like 2 divisions of Mike Tyson. Like 80s Tyson was the guy that destroyed you by fighting you.
Yeah.
90s Tyson was just crazy. 90s Tyson bit the ear off. Like that's like when you realize just everything about Mike Tyson and his demeanor and his persona and even like his backstory, there's no part of that if you deconstruct it isn't truly terrifying.
Yeah. 80s Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. 90s Mike Tyson was Def Jam.
Yeah, there it is. That's the perfect explanation of that. Like he's scary.
He's frightening, dude. He's still scary. Like Mike Tyson seems like a really nice guy now, but I wouldn't want to be like alone in a room with Mike Tyson, you know?
It's one of those things where if you could be certain that you could just talk to Mike Tyson in a way where you just didn't upset him, you'd be fine.
I don't think I would upset Mike because I wouldn't say something stupid like that one reporter did.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Where he just like brought up Mike Tyson's like rape for no reason.
Yeah.
Like no, he went to jail over that. Like he already served the time involved with that crime.
Yeah.
And you brought it up like 20 years later.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense what you just did. And now Mike Tyson wants to fight you.
And Mike Tyson's there to promote like an event. He's there to talk about how he talked to the mayor of Toronto. And this one journalist, you know, quote unquote, this news anchor guy is like, now, Mike Tyson, you were convicted of rape and 19 whatever.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well.
Ridiculous. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, look it up. It's Mike Tyson. Like, just look up like Mike Tyson Toronto reporter. You'll probably find it. He just flips out of this reporter because he brings up this really stupid event. Or not, well, the event wasn't stupid, but he brings up this really, like, in a really stupid way, he brings up a crime that Mike Tyson was convicted of.
And it had nothing to do with what they were talking about.
Right. Yeah, they're promoting an event. And it's like, what are you doing? So Mike Tyson says the F word multiple times on live Canadian television. I don't know what Canadian regulations are on that, but he didn't seem too happy about it.
Yeah. And the guy was like, okay, well, you don't have to go there. And it's like, well, you didn't have to cross the line either.
Yeah, it's like you brought up a 20-year-old crime.
And if that were the purpose of your conversation, it would have made sense. But it wasn't. It came out of nowhere. It had nothing to do with what they were talking about. It was like an awkward transition to get there, too.
Well, they have Caitlyn Jenner on The View. Like, now, Caitlyn Jenner, you did hit rear end someone and kill them.
like that would just be.
You could do. I mean, really, any celebrity who's committed a crime before, you could do that. Where it's like you bring in, who's the guy who was Ferris Bueller?
I know who you're talking about. Again,
yeah,
I cannot remember his name.
You bring in the guy who played Ferris Bueller. You're like, now you were involved in a drunk driving accident in which 2 people were killed, and it's like it happened in the 80s.
Yeah.
You just don't do that stuff.
Like, I get that it was awful.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to have an honest conversation about that, I feel like you owe it to that person to let them know beforehand. Yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about. Are you cool with that?
Yeah. Like, mention that first, because celebrities usually want to do like a clearing the air interview with like Barbara Walters.
Right. Which I think anybody would want to do. Like, if you made a mistake and the whole world witnessed it, I think that there would be some level of repentance that you would want.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I want this off my chest. I know I messed up, and then put it behind you. And then, like, there's still some reporter that wants their gotcha moment with people. And it's like, hey, no, I'm going to surprise you with this thing that you said you didn't want to talk about. And when that person's Mike Tyson, they're going to act like Mike Tyson. They're going to swear multiple times live on the air and cost you maybe your license.
Yeah. Whatever the Canadian equivalent of the FCC is going to really be unhappy. Can you imagine, like if it's in Toronto, if it was over terrestrial, like regular television back then, you could probably pick it up in Detroit. So I wonder if, like, in Detroit, someone picked it up and called the FCC, like, oh, they're swearing on this television station.
I have no idea how it works, but
well, I don't know. Like, does the FCC have jurisdiction over airwaves that are originating from another country?
That's true. It's a very good question.
I don't actually know. Yeah, I have to look that up. I should know, but I don't. I've filed FCC paperwork before. I should know these things.
We'll get back to you guys on that one.
We'll let you know. I'll find out. I'll ask my insider friends, and I'll let you know.
And by get back to you on that, I mean Russell will. I won't.
You're right. Yeah, I'll do all the work.
Like, I'm not at all curious about how this works. I'm just pretending.
As per the usual, I will do all the work. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this. This has become a thing, like just in recent memory. Like in between when we first did our last show, when we did our last show and when we started doing this show now, I promise I haven't been drinking. I can't speak.
It's today. One of those days.
It is one of those days. I'm just stressed out today because of all the stupid work. Anyway, my stupid job that I'm doing right now. There's a YouTube channel called Diversity in Comics that's popped out. I don't know if you've seen it or not, because I know you trawl the comic message boards and things.
Yeah.
But this guy has been doing some pretty funny videos calling out, what do you call it? Marvel. Calling out that comics company, the name of which I just immediately forgot. He's been really messing with Marvel because, like, their writers, apparently the quality's kind of gone downhill with their mainline books. Sales have been not very good at all from what I've seen. I mean, I'm just going based on the numbers he's presented, so I don't know for sure. But, like, going by the numbers he's presented and the fact that no one's really disputed them, Marvel's not doing too well. And I think this has a lot to do with the fact that this has been one of the worst summer movie seasons ever. Like, one of the worst ever has been this summer when it comes to movies. It's been terrible.
I think as far as comic book movies went, we got like Wonder Woman out of the summer, and that was about. I can't think of anything else that I watched that was any good.
I don't know of any superhero movies that came out aside from Wonder Woman. Were there any?
I know there's some coming up in the fall.
Okay.
So that's probably it too.
Fall doesn't matter though. Summer's like.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, people have been running away from the summer, and I have no idea
what's up with that. Like, we had Dunkirk, and that's good, but which I still haven't seen, by the way. We had Dunkirk.
That's amazing.
Well, my mom kind of got in a catastrophic car accident.
I'm still just telling you it's amazing.
Yeah, okay.
As long as it's out there for you to watch, I'm just saying.
Oh, in case you were wondering, my mom got in a catastrophic car accident that was not her fault, and her leg got all messed up. So I've been having to take care of her and all this, it's been a whole big ordeal. But that's why I wasn't on for a while, is because Mom.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
I don't want to do 2 millennials as 1 millennial. That doesn't really.
You could, though. I mean, I wouldn't boycott it or anything.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'm not coming back.
It's just not. The concept is not as fun to me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's more the banter than anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it by myself either. I would just banter with myself and it'd be really boring. I talk about shortwave radio or something.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, Diversity in Comics has been doing some really, really interesting videos. And if you haven't seen them, I would encourage you to watch his stuff. He's on YouTube, Diversity in Comics. And he's been doing these really interesting sort of not hot take, but take videos. I don't want to say hot take because it's so negative nowadays, but he's been doing videos sort of off the cuff of different books that he's been reading, and how all of the Marvel writers, it seems, are just very openly SJW, and that in and of itself is not really a problem. It's that they're integrating it into every single one of their comic book stories, and the writing quality has gone way downhill. And one thing that he pointed out that I thought was really interesting, and the only reason I bring this up is because you're more of a comic guy than I am, is the fact that now the current canon Iron Man is not Tony Stark. It's this girl, 15-year-old girl named Riri Williams.
I did see that. I don't read as much Marvel, but I did see that, and I was like, I'm not even remotely interested in where that's going.
Yeah, and that's the problem, though, is that who cares about Riri Williams, right?
Right. And here's my thing, because I think about diversity in media all the time.
Yeah.
When you are Black, I think there's a certain level of when you notice that there aren't Black people in stuff, and you're just well, that's kind of sad. It doesn't stop you from reading it, but
right.
You're that's kind of sad. But at the same time, I'm not the guy that wants to demand for everything to be changed. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, well, what if we made Thor a woman? What if we made Flash black? And all of that stuff backfires, and it backfires horribly.
Yeah.
And the reason why it backfires horribly is because instead of creating a character who is just a good, solid character through and through, whose main characteristic is, as all good characters are, the thing that they want conflicted with what they have to do to get it, you have made a character whose notable feature is what they are. If they're a woman, that's their feature, right? I like Miles as the new Spider-Man.
Oh, I like Miles too,
there's a good chunk of Brian Michael Bendis writing that story. And if you want to find the ultimate SJW writer, Brian Michael Bendis is right up there.
He calls out Bendis all the time, actually.
Yeah, because he's upsetting. and there are some parts of reading Spider-Man where the notable feature of Miles Morales is that he is Black, and not that he has to deal with being a superhero in high school, which ought to be every Spider-Man prototype story. That ought to be how it works, and it's not. You don't end up focusing on that. And yeah, obviously, Miles being a Black character should play into his life.
Yeah, that's a cool angle to it.
Right. But it shouldn't be his character. Miles doesn't have a personality so far as I can tell. That's why it's terrible.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck because he started off having one.
Yeah, that's where I started. I read Ultimate Comics Spider-Man number 1 through 5, and I loved that. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, Miles was his own character. And as his story has gone on, Miles' defining characteristic is that he's Black. And so doing this thing with Riri, I forget her last name.
Williams.
How generic, right? Being Iron Man, it's no, because now her defining feature is that she is woman Iron Man, and not all of the things that makes Tony Stark brilliant are also the things that destroy him. That is his defining characteristics. Is his brilliance is what makes him the kind of guy who will make brilliant weapons, but also those brilliant weapons get turned around and used on him. They get turned around and used on innocent people, and he ends up with moral quandaries. Also, he's an alcoholic, which I think is also fascinating.
That's a really good angle, which they don't really explore in the movies too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did in the first one, and then he was just magically not an alcoholic
anymore. Yeah, then in 3 is just and then in 3 is just magic PTSD that he didn't do anything to fix except talk to young kids or something.
Yeah, talk to exactly one child in Chattanooga specifically.
Yeah, which looks nothing. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother thing.
It's movie Chattanooga. Yeah, it's not real Chattanooga.
Which is somehow Missouri, the middle of nowhere Missouri is not Chattanooga.
People cheered in the theater when they saw Chattanooga, and then everyone was just disappointed when they were like, "That's what they think."
I remember
this looks
that.
Like.
People clapped in the theater. It was the AmeriClap thing, and then I could feel the atmosphere. What?
That's not what this looks like.
No, what the heck?
Get out of it. It's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many more layers and levels to that I find to be like, it's almost offensive, especially since, and let's be honest, like a lot of these writers that are writing on behalf of minority groups are not a part of these minority groups.
Mm-hmm.
So that plays a part into it too, because it's like the unique perspective of a person who is black writing a black character. They're going to make that character more natural. They're going to give that character, in all likelihood, a personality. I just think where you wind up with like a lot of the social justice stuff is like, we're just going to go with, here's a group that's being oppressed. Here's a group that is the oppressor. And we're going to speak for them both.
Yeah. And
that's crazy.
It's absolutely psychopathic. And one of the things that it reminds me of like TNG, Next Generation, where they would have like the monster of the week in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the oppressed minority of the week. You know, it's like, who can we bring in? It's like, oh, now we have a queer trans Hispanic woman who's going to be deported, and she's our new superhero. She's now Spider-Woman. And you're just like, what the heck? What's the point here?
Yeah.
What's the point you're trying to make?
Like, if you're going to do it, and there's a reason why we don't get as mad about DC with this stuff, because DC made Batwoman, and Batwoman is a lesbian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it's not the defining feature of her, which is why you didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually had no idea.
If you read the story, it plays into it. Like, that affects her day life and the things that she does when she's not out superheroing.
Right.
But when she's out fighting crime, doesn't factor at all. Doesn't come up. Not an issue, because like nobody cares. Like, if you're a masked vigilante and I'm being mugged by somebody and you just pop out of the sky and punch that guy into next week and leave, like, I don't care what gender you are. Like, what does that do with anything? Like, and it's so crazy because it's laziness. As far as writing goes, it's just lazy.
Well, I like to use this analogy when I think about superheroes. I like to think about, like, when I think about their personality, because superheroes are basically like cops, but not, you know? So I think about like that person as a cop. Would I care if it was a gay Hispanic cop who shot the guy who was trying to mug me? No. I'm just glad that he shot the guy who was trying to mug me. Now, if he was yelling like odd quips, you know, while he was shooting the guy who was trying, that's kind of strange, but I also wouldn't care that much. I'd be like, well, it's a good job he did. But like, if you're failing at both things, you know, if you're failing at being a cop, missing your shot and being like, well, it's okay, I'm a gay black person, you know, like, that's, what are you doing? I guess that's it for us.
Yeah.
That's the end of our gay black show.
There it is.
CBS News, I'm Pam Coulter.
Come on down.
People packed into stores in Miami to buy supplies before hurricane